Hi there, I'm Sandra Parker from Just a Tonic Coaching, and today I'm going to talk about why willpower doesn't work for alcohol. Now, you might be watching this and thinking, you know what, Sandra, I've got the most amazing willpower, it will work for me. Right, here's what I want to explain. I want us to look at willpower in a bit more detail, right? Because we like to boast that we've got strong willpower, and we tend to see having willpower and doing something through willpower as a good thing, right? But if we examine it, I don't think that's the case. If we look at what willpower is when we are going against our inherent desire. So in the case of alcohol, we want to drink and we are depriving ourselves of what we want. So we're using effort, we're using our will to try and make us not drink. Right now, that might last for a night or for a week, or for a couple of weeks, but it's not a long-term solution. And there's a couple of reasons why. Right. The first reason is it doesn't feel good. So every night that you don't drink that you want to drink, yes, you might have achieved the result, but you've not enjoyed the evening because you're fighting a desire to drink and you feel deprived. And the other thing is it takes a lot of effort. So if we're constantly trying to summon up lots of willpower to do something, it's going to really sap our energy. And as soon as we have anything else in our life that takes up more energy than normal, then it will be hard to maintain. So it could be that you just had a really busy day at work, or you didn't have as good enough sleep. It could be anything at all, but you'll notice that we have a limited amount of willpower, right? It's not an infinite resource. It's not something that grows and gets bigger and bigger. We all got a limited amount of it. Scientists have proven that. So every time you're using willpower to not drink, you're exerting effort, you're using up a lot of energy, and it doesn't feel good, right? So why would somebody want to use that as a long-term solution? Imagine if you wanted to be alcohol-free for 6 months. Who wants to feel deprived for 6 months? I certainly don't. So even people that have, and this is particularly when people are high performing, and I work with a lot of high performing people, and people that are operating at a high level tend to be successful in lots of areas of their life, right? They're used to working hard, they're used to pushing through, but there's a much better way to do it, right? Why deplete all your energy and all your resources and feel miserable when you can do it a different way? So number one, scientific studies will say it doesn't last long. Number two, it will feel miserable, and the chances are at some point it won't work. So what's the alternative? Well, instead of fighting a desire to drink, what if we removed the need to drink? Now, when I was drinking, I had no idea that I was going to end up not drinking and becoming a coach, right? Because I thought life without alcohol would be miserable. I thought, what's the point? But what I know right now is that I had been conditioned, and there had been decades of marketing, decades of conditioning to believe that life was not fun without alcohol. So the only way I was able to not drink and feel good was to have a mindset shift. And another way of saying that is, it's only because I had a mindset shift that I'm enjoying life alcohol free. If I had been relying on willpower, I wouldn't be doing this video because I would still be drinking. So it's entirely possible to get to the point where you do not need to drink. You're not bothered about it. It's not that you're not allowed. It's not that it's forbidden, but you look at it and you say, nah, it's not for me, or I'd rather not. And when that happens, that's where the magic is, right? Because what that means is at that point in time, you don't feel deprived. You actually feel really good because you remember what it's like to give in, to drink too much, to feel worse the next day, to pretend that you're fine, and to go through that whole cycle again and again and again. And it feels really good to break out of it. Not in a way where you're wishing you were drinking, but in a way that you're glad that you can see it for what it is and you don't need it. So if you've got any questions on willpower, please let me know. But just remember, if you've been trying with willpower and it hasn't worked, it doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're flawed. It doesn't mean that you have a defective gene. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you have to drink for the rest of your life. It just means that you need a better strategy. And if you want to hear more about my strategy, please subscribe and follow my channel. Thanks very much.